Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob, and this video, we're going to do our first preseason video of Game of Thrones. Okay guys, welcome back. So, as you know, this channel, I do a lot of reviews for TV shows. I've been doing Almost Human, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Walking Dead, but there are still other shows that I like that are just not close to being out yet. But now we're kind of starting to creep up on some of these new seasons, and one of them is Game of Thrones. I'm so excited to see season 4, to see what's going to happen. Now, I did one Game of Thrones video back on my old channel, and I did it very, very early, and it did very well. It got almost 15,000 views, but a lot of annoying book readers, and these are the people who have read the book, and because they've read the book, they feel they have some sort of superiority over viewers who haven't read the book. And I'm not saying they're all like that, but it was, in terms of comments and responses, it was very, very it was very annoying because, first of all, I had people angry that I had set the channel to be approved comments. And the reason I did that is because I know that there are book readers out there who are going to spoil, intentionally or unintentionally, have the potential to spoil the series for people who don't read the books. So you can expect the same thing here. There are going to be, the comments are going to be not locked. You just won't be able to, the comment's going to require my approval is what I'm saying. If I don't even know if that's still an option or not. I actually have to double check, because now with this whole Google Plus integration, that may not be an option anymore. But if it is an option, I'm going to set it. The reason I'm going to set it is because if there are any Game of Thrones book readers that come aboard, I don't want them spoiling it. So that's why I do it. Now, in terms of Game of Thrones, I'm very excited for season 4. We have a lot of things we have to look forward to. I myself have not read the books, and I can tell you right now, we're gonna quickly discuss season 3 a little bit here. Let's just talk about some of the key players. So we know that Jaime Lannister now is back with his family. He went through a lot. Him and Brienne became very close. He saved her ass many times, actually. And not only did he save her from the bear, but he saved her from getting raped by Locke's group when they were captured by Locke, which was Bolton's men. And he lost his hand for that, trying to get a little too cocky. And which for him is devastating. He's a master swordsman. Now, because of losing his hand, he's a bit crippled. He probably won't be able to fight the way he used to. He confessed to Brienne why he killed the Mad King. You know, his character is completely turned around. And, you know, in the Game of Thrones, there really is no hero. One day somebody can be portrayed as a hero. The next day they can be portrayed as a ruthless villain. Jaime Lannister is a prime example. He was probably the most hated character in the first season and the first half of the second season. Actually, first 2 seasons altogether. You know, when you consider what he did in terms of fighting Ned Stark and pushing Bran out of the window in the very first episode. And I don't want to hear complaints about spoilers, all right? The damn first season's been out on DVD for almost 2 years already, so get over it. You know, he's done a lot of bad things, but he's also done good things, even when you thought he's been bad. I mean, when he explained to Brienne why he killed the Mad King, then, you know, you kind of said, oh, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. So I'm kind of excited to see, now that he's kind of changed a little bit, how he's going to react to seeing his family. Obviously, Cersei doesn't give a shit about him. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, they're siblings, but obviously they're lovers. And she's been sleeping with her cousin. So she doesn't give a shit about him. The father's more concerned about power. But I think Jaime Lannister's presence now will help little Tyrion, the half-man, because obviously he feels very concerned about his safety there, especially with Joffrey. His father's shitting on him. Cersei doesn't give a shit about him. But him and his brother have always had a good relationship. So I'm hoping that, if nothing else, Jaime and Tyrion will kind of form a little two-man crew and maybe right the ship for the Lannisters. So that's that. Then we have, obviously, the Red Wedding and how that's going to play out. The Starks are all but done. Bran is heading up north to find the three-eyed crow. Rickon and Osha and Hodor, I think, are heading to. Memory serves me, because a lot goes on in these shows. There are tons of characters, so it's a lot to remember. But if I remember well, Osha, Hodor, and Rickon are heading towards Catelyn Stark's family's River Run, I believe it's called. I believe it's River Run. Again, please feel free to correct me. So that's that. Then we have Arya, who last I remember was with the Hound. I'm not sure if she left him. I think they're still together. But she obviously, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with her. She is just... She's really got nowhere to go except maybe River Run, but she's just, that poor little girl's gone through so much, from seeing her father beheaded, seeing her brother beheaded, well, not necessarily seeing him beheaded, but seeing obviously his head missing and the direwolf's head replacing his. I mean, she's, I think, going to just become a complete badass. And she's probably... I have 3 characters in this series I like. Well, 4 now, because I like Marjorie. Arya's one of them. Jon Snow, and obviously Little Tyrion, the half-man. Now, when we talk about Jon Snow, it's up in the air whether this guy's dead or not. He took 3 arrows. We don't know what the hell's going to happen with him. But obviously, he is heading back to the Night's Watch to probably give him some news about the wildlings. We know that the White Walkers are still in play. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, I could probably... I'm already at almost 7 minutes, and I haven't even, you know, gotten to the gut of all the things that are going on leading into Season 4. And the thing of it is, you know, we still haven't even touched on Daenerys. Daenerys... Last season, this had some epic moments. The best moment being when she obtained the Unsullied from the guy who was basically insulting her in his language. And I would say there was a certain point, I can't remember when, but there was a certain point that I started to realize that she understood what that motherfucker was saying. Because what she would look at him with these deadly looks, and I remember, I'm like, she knows what he's saying. And sure enough, she understood. When she got official control of the army, I thought it was epic that she turned the army on them, killed all the masters, killed that guy, and still got her dragon back. So now she's got this large army. She's got the Second Son's mercenaries, her dragons, who are, you know, are going to be bigger this year, and she's got obviously her 2 protectors. I can't remember their names right now. I'll remember their names when the season comes, but she has definitely turned things around. She is probably one of the most compelling characters in the show, because if you remember from Season 1, she was little innocent Daenerys that was getting butt humped by Khal Drogo, and now she's just a woman of power. And I do know that the guy who played Dario from the Second Son, the mercenaries, the guy who killed his 2 co-leaders, it's not going to be the same guy. It's going to be a different actor. I don't remember the name, but I know it's not going to be the same guy that had the pretty long hair and was kind of trying to court Daenerys. So we have her with her Unsullied. Jaime's back with his family. Jon Snow is somewhat in limbo with 3 arrows poking out of his body. Bran is heading up to beyond the north wall to find the crow. Rickon, Osha, Hodor are heading to River Run. Theon Greyjoy is still being tortured. He's lost his manhood. His sister's out to save him. Stannis Baratheon has put a death sentence on Theon Greyjoy's father. I can't remember his first name. Robb Stark was part of that death sentence, and we know what happened to him. And he named the 3rd name, but I just can't... Oh, Joffrey. So, when he put those leeches in that fire, and then we saw Robb Stark's death, can we assume now that Joffrey and Theon Greyjoy's father are also going to die? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Joffrey dies, we'll probably throw a fucking parade. And that guy is such a ruthless bastard, and you know, annoying at the same time. Like, you guys know me, I love villains, and I would like him if he wasn't so annoying, because he is ruthless, but he's also an annoying little spoiled bitch. So a lot of people will be happy if he dies. Theon Greyjoy's father, I mean, he hasn't had enough screen time for us to really care whether or not he dies, but we know that it does play an important role to the important part in the story if he does, because then that opens the floodgates for the Iron Islands. And Theon Greyjoy, being in the position he's in, will not be able to claim that land. His sister is out looking for him, so we don't even know if she's going to survive or not. Then Stannis Baratheon is still kind of under control of Melisandre. The Onion Knight, I can't remember his name right now. I think it's Davos. Davos, obviously very loyal to Stannis. He knows that Melisandre is corrupt. Melisandre now has Robert Baratheon's bastard son. Well, she did, and Davos helped him escape. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Is she going to recapture him? Is he going to go back to Westeros? I mean, there's so much going on, and so many questions that still need to be answered. And now that we're kind of coming to the end of this year, we know that the third season Blu-ray DVD is going to come out. I'm going to have it on day one. I don't care what anyone says. And I will watch it. I will watch season 1 through 3. Every year I get the new set, and then I watch it from the beginning all the way up to the end. I binge watch. So, but we know that there's a lot going on. And I'm trying to think if I even missed somebody. I mean, obviously, Sansa is another Stark. I didn't even mention her. She's another Stark that's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. She's married to Tyrion. She's officially a Lannister now. Baelish has control of the Vale. Bolton is Warden of the North. Frey, I mean, whew, lots going on. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next season of Game of Thrones. Now that we're getting closer, I am going to start doing more videos about it, because I want to try and make some predictions, even though I haven't read the book. And if, from what I've heard, they're following the book pretty well. So it's hard to predict some things that are set in stone. But because I'm not a book reader, I can do that because I don't know what's going on. So anyway, that's it for this video. Just a kind of a little introductory video, kind of quickly reviewing Season 3, which is really hard to review in one video, but I think I ran through it pretty well. I hit some key points, but I'm sure there are things I missed because there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of story. So, but anyway, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, what do you think? What do you expect to see this season? Are you a book reader? Do you not know what's going to go on? And as I said, if I have the option to cause the comments to be approved, I am going to set that, because I don't want to take the chance that anybody who's read the book comes on here and spoils it for people who have not, including myself. Obviously, if I see the approved comment, I'm going to kind of get spoiled, but you know, that's the chance you take when you do what I do. But I want to make sure that at least it's not spoiled for anyone else. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video on Game of Thrones. I will be doing more videos on Game of Thrones as we get closer to the beginning of the season, and we'll see you next video.